from Visit Brainerd, and today I'm at the Northern Pacific Center. I'm talking with Derek Owen, who is the GM here of the joint. And we're going to be talking to you guys about, well, one main thing that's happening coming up sooner rather than later, and then we're going to touch on a few of the next and upcoming things. Is that fair?
That's perfect.
Okay, so the first thing, you guys just got done with the Wild West show.
We did. Wild West Murder Mystery. A
So
lot of fun.
they've got some really cool buildings that they just kind of created for the event. It's super cool over there.
It's cool.
It looks awesome.
It's a lot of work, but it paid off.
Yeah, I don't know, what are you going to do with those buildings?
That's a great question.
I'm going to buy one for a chicken coop.
We have all these buildings around here, but we don't have enough storage. So we got to find places to put them. We'll find places. And then we can reuse them. They can be used as all sorts of stuff. So.
Speaking of, where are we?
Where are we right now?
What's the Northern Pacific Center?
So we are at a 150-year-old train not station, more of a train yard where
it's so cool.
Built and repaired and did everything under the sun for the Northern Pacific Railroad, and that operated, I should be a lot better at my history, early 80s. Somebody out there's going to laugh at me that knows, but that's when it ceased production altogether.
Okay.
And then the spaces were vacant and turned into a lot of warehousing storage spaces, and then ultimately into wedding venues and event venue and tenants that are on the property now. So it's hustle and bustle around here.
I did a tour here before really anything was renovated, and we were walking through the buildings, and I mean they were not used for a really long time. So we saw some really interesting bird droppings.
Pigeons. You bet.
So many pigeons. So it's crazy to me that you guys can take it from that to a wedding venue, which is stunning.
Lipstick on a pig.
No, it isn't. It was way more than that. So
it
cool
is.
out here.
Very
cool.
It's a lot of work involved and a lot of elbow grease and to maintain old buildings.
Yeah.
But a lot of you know it's not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
But we're doing it.
But for those of you who have not ever been out here or you're unsure about this property, it is definitely open to the public. They've got a lot of other businesses here that are open Monday through Friday, even on the weekends.
Yep.
You should always step in. There's a restaurant on site. Just come over and check it out. Seriously, walk around because it's cool.
Yeah, something for everyone, we like to say.
It is. So the main building that we're talking about is called the Exchange,
Correct.
which is just one of the buildings that is on site here, and that is where you are holding the majority of your events.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so the next one that's coming up is the All Aboard Expo.
The All Aboard Expo.
Let's talk about it.
The All Aboard Expo is a brand new idea where we're trying to get just all business types involved.
Right. All aboard.
Expo, all aboard. Shows and things like that right before COVID kind of got interesting, right? And shows kind of took a hit. Some tried to crank back up, some didn't work, some went virtual. We were dealing with all of that. So coming into a new series of conventions and shows, we're trying to do something different. And our spot does that already, right? Somewhere different. It's a different, venue. It's a very cool setting, which we just already teed up. But and then the all aboard portion is just all business types, no matter, all the way from a at-home startup type business to a construction company or things like that. So everybody pays one rate, and that's another thing. We try to keep the booth fees low and say again the all aboard part. Everybody comes in at a certain rate, no affiliation with any organizations or anything like that. So there's not different rates for people. It's just the same across the board. And again, meant to bring our community back together, get shows back to what they should be, just community-minded, community-oriented, and letting people showcase their stuff, especially piggybacking some of the COVID stuff. It's like, let people know that businesses are open, they're still here. I know, unfortunately, we've heard stories of businesses not making it through that whole situation. Some are still struggling, but it's the idea of these places are open. We should be supporting people in our communities and get them to these shows.
So you're gonna create this show. You're gonna bring everybody together in one spot, and then it's just kind of easy shopping, if you will, or whatever you're looking for.
Exactly. And then the time of year is great. It's around the corner, which today feels like it. Spring is there, hopefully, but then it gets people in that mindset. And do they need to do stuff for spring or talk to contractors or builders or yard stuff or whatever that might look like? It's a nice time to.
First of all, everybody is super antsy to get out of their house this time of year.
Yes.
Me included. Like today, like Derek just said, the weather right now is amazing. Things are melting and it's a little sloppy, but who cares?
Right.
Because it's 30 degrees and it feels amazing. So that'll be great. People want to get out and do stuff.
They do.
And they're all itching to start spring and summer projects. So this will good
Yep.
show for that.
Yep.
Okay, so the dates are March
11th and 12th.
and then
Yep, Friday,
time frame.
Friday is from noon to 8, and then Saturday is 9 to 5.
Do people have to pay to get in?
They do pay a fee to get in, but portions go back to, we always donate to nonprofits.
Yeah.
We are partnering with Visit Brainerd, weird. And that's a great partnership, as well. But to date, with some of our events we've done, we've given back over $10,000 to local nonprofits. So we always give a portion of our event fees back to that nonprofit
It's
group.
super cool that you guys are doing, and you
Yeah.
had across the board nonprofits.
Yeah,
It's just been,
we have people that apply for them, and then we kind of vet that process. We wish we could do it for everyone, but we're going to keep picking and keep going, and so it's a great way for us to give back. So.
yeah, love that a lot. Okay, so then you have
Then-
I know you guys go back to
Yes.
back to back.
It's awesome, and
A little crazy.
So I have a much needed vacation coming up after this last one. So spring break's in the middle there for people in our district here. So in between the All Aboard, we have spring break, and then the Brainerd Boat Show. So the boat show is the 3-day show. It's the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So we flip that room a little bit, and then we bring in ginormous, expensive boats, which is great.
All
and
boating stuff.
All boating stuff. And again, we just talked about the spring fever situation.
Yeah.
People thinking about getting back on the water, and these are great. Most of them are our local dealers here too, so they're just great. Again, we're supporting local with that.
So some of these folks are bringing in like their big high-end boats that
unbelievable.
we wouldn't ever probably.
No, right, exactly. But last year I got to park some of them, and we hook them up to a
Did it make
fork
you
truck.
nervous?
Oh, I'm super nervous. I scrape this up, I gotta give my house keys or something like that.
Your firstborn.
I don't know how to pay for that, but yeah. But they're amazing, beautiful boats, and even just looking at them is phenomenal.
Right.
And then when the show's over, we had super good feedback from the dealers about people buying, and I still think that trend's happening. That was we all know kind of the COVID scenario too, where it was like
Right.
outdoor sports that jumped up for them too, and so business is good there, and it continues to be. So a lot of them are worried about inventory and what they're actually going to bring because they are sold out. Yeah, but good, amazing problem to have.
A great problem to have.
Yep.
You guys also do off the rail markets.
Yep, off the
Sporadically
rails.
throughout the year.
4 times a year we do these off the rails markets where we bring in we're touting more of a higher end experience for shopping for these markets, and just it's all about experiences here. So that definitely is a market where we want to create a experience for not only the vendors that are here but for the shoppers. We have VIP experience for them where they get all these extra things thrown in there. We're doing something very new for the next
What's it?
off the rails where the last one we went to 2 days. We went to a Friday evening and a Saturday. So Friday evening we had just over a couple hundred people, but it was an amazing couple hundred people. Like they had a good time at the bar, they spent money at the vendors.
Okay.
So our next thing that we're going to launch is the Friday night will be VIP only night.
Oh,
so
fun.
we want to sell only maybe 300-400 tickets to that. That's the VIP experience where we do champagne and we do all this fun stuff, maybe live music, and so that night is just for our VIP only, and then Saturday would be all the general.
Okay.
shopping, so.
Well, I myself have shopped at more than one of the markets, and the vendors are really for me, they were super friendly. I spent way more than I had intended to, but it was a wonderful experience for me. And you guys had live music that time, that day. I believe it was Those Guys was playing.
Yeah.
And I just loved them, so that was fun. And even the vendors were kind of dancing in their booths, and it was great.
It is
It
great.
was lovely.
My wife goes every time too, but when I see her walk in the door, I'm like, no. Yeah, because I know it's 5 or 6 bags on the way out. So but it's great. Like I said, there's repeat vendors, and we love seeing those same people buying the same products from them. And then we try to turn it over too, though, and get new vendors in and new experience products. So.
Get it. Something a little unusual. There's a wrestling event.
Wrestling, yeah. We are the home of North Star Pro Wrestling. So it sounds like an idea that Mike or I would have came up with, but it wasn't. They reached out to us kind of looking for a home to have the wrestling series, if you will, here in northern Minnesota, and it's been a great partnership. Yeah, they reached out. So we've had 2 shows now, and both average around 150 people, which is actually a nice intimate group for wrestling. Sure, we want to see it grow, and I think it definitely is going to, especially in the next one here.
Right.
And the reason I say that is we have a special guest coming. Super excited for people that are old enough. Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk, is coming. Hulk. So he's gonna do some signings, take some pictures.
Is he gonna be green?
Hookup. And somebody else asked that. I'm like, no, he's not. And he was. Okay. For those who, you can look him up, but he's 70 now. But he looks amazing for 70. Okay, so I don't want people to come with the expectation that he's ginormous like me, right? But he's going to be a little smaller. But like I mentioned earlier when we talked about, if I look like that at 70, that guy is amazing. So super excited to have him here. I think that'll be a nice draw to get people. But also, I don't want to take away from the actual wrestling. These are like independent pro wrestlers who, to be honest, a lot of times people haven't heard their names yet if they don't follow the circuit, but it is super entertaining. So I have drugged people to it and said, just come check it out. And they go, it's wrestling, or they've never been involved. They had an amazing time. So it's super high impact, it's fun.
Family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly for sure. Kids, and when I say friendly, the kids are still yelling at the wrestlers, they yell back appropriately. But it's fun banter. It's great. The kids are like yelling, and there's a guy with a mullet, and they're yelling "mullet man." It's awesome. So it is super high impact. These guys are amazing athletes. Like, just you can't take that kind of stuff away from these guys. Like, they're putting on a great show, and it's fun. So you better be there.
I would like to mention the promo videos that these guys have done.
Oh yeah, chiropractic visits for me.
If you haven't seen them yet for the wrestling promos, look them up. They are so fun for me to watch. And I'm so glad that I'm not in the ring with you guys.
I still have a bad shoulder to this day from one of the maneuvers, but yeah, we try to be entertaining while we're
seriously,
shooting.
you guys do a really, really great job. And even the Wild West videos, I mean, it was all old and nostalgic and black and white and slow-mo.
Sorry, I had to slow down a little bit because people were asking for autographs.
I feel like you've maybe lost
They thought I was ripped from Yellowstone. Just getting out of control.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes me pushing it out.
Well, I mean, it's like, I better shave that because people think But yeah,
well,
it's good.
Anything else you want to tell us about? Gosh, I mean, there's always so much going on. People should probably follow your social media.
The huge thing is social media. We were posting. We got the Brainerd Exchange had its own Facebook page. We consolidated everything to the Northern Pacific Center. So if you follow that, you're going to get all the info that's coming from us. And then just go to our website and check out events because there's something happening, and they just pop up. All of a sudden, like, hey, next month let's jump monster trucks or something. I don't know. It'll just come up and then we do it. So
I seriously won't be surprised if that shows up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I think that's great for people to know. Make sure that you're following the Northern Pacific Center. Yep. Gosh, seriously, there's so many things going on here. You just always need to check out. We partner with you guys and we help promote them and all of their things. So the Visit Brainerd calendar events, you guys are always getting on there and all that stuff. So I don't know what else people need to know other than you kind of just need to show up here and experience it.
Experience it. That's like our tagline.
Yeah.
The whole experience situation. And we love our tenants that are here. They do an amazing job as well. The shop spacing, you have shopping. A lot of people don't know they're shopping.
Right.
If you see the sign that says the shops, it's not a bunch of men working on a railroad anymore. Okay, it's new, it's different. It's a bunch of lovely ladies selling products and great products. So the shops, there's a shopping experience here.
And the shops are super cute and very retro and just cool. It's just a whole other feeling of shopping. I don't know, you gotta do it.
Yeah. And there's ice cream and there's a full bar and restaurant. It's not good for me. It's not good, but I try. I walk everywhere. I do what I can. I walk right over to the store and eat some ice cream.
Which is legit across the road.
It is across the road, yeah. So that's the cool part about the property. Now, not when it's 20 below, but especially when in the spring and nice weather come, just strolling around. Not only visiting the shops and maybe going to an event, but even the power plant, which most of you have seen the skyline right up the 2 stacks, but just checking out the history of Brainerd and knowing that this is where it all began.
Right.
Brainerd started with the railroad here, and
during history, I'm just going to do a quick little plug. Yeah. During history, we try to get tours throughout the property here, so that has been hugely popular. People love to get inside these buildings and just really take it all in, and I keep looking up because it's just so cool, like the old beams and everything. It's very super cool. Okay, so I think that's it for a summary.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few
Yeah.
things going on, always. There's always a few
Always.
things going on here. Make sure you, like I said, follow the Northern Pacific Center on Facebook. You guys on Twitter,
We're on
Instagram?
Instagram as well. Yep. We're not
Okay.
tweeting yet, but
Yeah, I hear you.
we're TikToking a little bit, maybe.
Okay, very
Doing
good.
something. I don't know.
But I think that kind of sums it up here. I brought this list, didn't really need it because you nailed it, man. You knew all
Yeah.
the dates and everything. So
Got
good
it.
on you. Okay.
Thank you.
That's one more way of how you can love Brainerd like a local. We're going to see you soon at the Northern Pacific Center.